Top national security officials have apparently told Donald Trump that the military is ready for potential strikes on Iran whenever he wants, maybe as soon as this Saturday. And the conversations have been described by insider sources as fluid and ongoing. It's like a vibes thing, really. Do we want to take out the government? Do we want to invade another country? It's not something that should be like locked down hardcore. It's just what you feel like on the day, I guess. And they do certainly seem to be ready. The US military buildup includes dozens of refueling tankers so that they can do a whole bunch of air missions. Rush to the region by United States Central Command. More than 50 additional fighter jets, so tons of jets. 2 aircraft carrier strike groups, complete with their accompanying destroyers, cruisers, and submarines. And so that's the USS Ford is the aircraft carrier and a strike group that came recently. They said that is a key factor in the timing of a possible military campaign. And I imagine that makes it a lock, not necessarily for a particular day, but maybe you send 1 aircraft carrier to put pressure on them. You don't send 2. That is wildly expensive to do. They sent it because they're going to use it. Now that said, I have a bad track record in this particular conflict of predicting when it's gonna begin. And I don't want it to begin this weekend, so I'm gonna say it's this weekend, put all your money on it. Hopefully it won't happen. In any event, the White House press secretary, Carolyn Leavitt, doesn't want you to get all worked up about this. She said, there are many arguments one can make in favor of a strike against Iran, but she said Trump prefers diplomacy and stressed Iran would be wise to make a deal. Yeah, he prefers diplomacy. I remember when he said last year that they had 2 weeks to make a deal, and then like a day later, he started bombing them. He sure seems to love diplomacy, and there are some clues that he's not in a diplomatic mood. So over the next 3 days, the Pentagon is moving some personnel temporarily out of the Middle East region. That's generally what they do when they're worried about counterattacks that might come. If there were to be broader strikes against Iran, that might trigger what we've always been worried about, which is that they would launch missiles on either United States bases in the region, on Israel, whatever. They didn't do that previously. They didn't do that a couple years ago when Israel attacked them. They've shown remarkable restraint, more than Israel or the United States have, but it could happen in this particular case. Also, Rubio is apparently planning to visit Israel at the end of the month for talks about Iran. Now, maybe that implies that it won't happen until after that, I guess. Israeli forces have apparently been on heightened alert for weeks. They've been making more preparations for a possible war, and a meeting of Israel's security cabinet was moved to Sunday from Thursday. So make of that what you will. Tehran, what do you think is gonna happen?
Well, if you want to wipe the smile from my face, this was it. This is very close to home. If you watch the map of the US military movements in the Middle East right now, it is like a game of board game Risk, where all the forces are clearly aiming to attack one region. If there isn't an attack, there's or if there is a deal that's struck, I understand for the United States that might be the best thing to do, but there are a lot of Iranians inside and outside of Iran who are actually not only expecting this attack, they're hoping for this attack in a way because they are that sore and that done with this Islamic Republic regime that's been tyrannical and oppressive to the people of Iran, that they are willing for an attack to happen and for the lesser of two evils to take over, to negate the oppression and continued brutality of this regime. That's a true statement, and that's something that is a case of worry. If you're so concerned about a government that you're willing to die in order for it to change, that's a conversation to be had. President Trump has gone out and tweeted before, which actually caused action from the people. He tweeted, "Take to the streets, support is on its way." Something to that effect, and people took the streets, and we have seen almost 50,000 plus protesters, according to certain numbers that are put out, have been massacred by the government because of it. So, yeah, this is not a game. If there is an attack that's imminent, it should be a show of force, and it should be with a plan. If there isn't, then there's a different plan that the people would need to take in order to remove the Islamic Republic regime.
Yeah, and even if there is a war, we don't know if it will be designed to destroy the entire leadership to then replace it with something else. There's lots of reasons to believe that that's what the United States and Israel wants, but we don't know for sure that this would be it. Donald Trump seems perfectly happy to start wars all over the place and then come back to them a few months later or whatever. So that's possible. And I have no interest in the regime. I would love for them to be replaced. I just wish it was by the people of Iran, and that the United States and Israel weren't going to be the ones, potentially, who are choosing that new leadership, because I don't think the United States or Israel, at least as they're currently constituted, can be trusted to choose someone that would be any better for the people of Iran. Again, people in Iran, people Iranian who are here, they can have very different opinions about that, but I don't trust our side literally at all. Donald Trump, you as you pointed out, is like, take to the streets, we support you. But first of all, he doesn't even support protesters here. So I don't believe that he cares much about them, especially when he was asked in an interview about Iranian plots to kill him. And he said there are military plans that if he dies, they will destroy the entire country, which presumably would be bad for the civilian population of Iran. So I don't think he cares if literally every Iranian person were to up and die tomorrow. So that's my concern, is that I don't like the Iranian government, but I don't like the United States government. I don't like the Israeli government. I don't like any of them, honestly. I think they could all do better, honestly.
That's a great point. They really should all do better. And you've made very good points. We don't want another Iraq. We don't want another Afghanistan. We don't want another even Syria or Libya, or go down the list. Iran for the Iranians, but there are people that do want this attack. And that is, for me, a bigger cause of concern. So we will see what happens, but hopefully we all end up on the right side of history on this one.
Yeah, agreed.